Because I will teach you the agitation through clinging and non-agitation through non-clinging. Listen to that and attend closely, I will speak. Yes, Venerable sir, those bhikkhus replied, the Blessed One said this. And how bhikkhus is their agitation through clinging? Here bhikkhus, the uninstructed worldling, who is not a seer of the noble ones, and is unskilled and undisciplined in their Dhamma, who is not a seer of the superior person, and is unskilled and undisciplined in their Dhamma, regards form as self, or self as possessing form, or form as in self, or self as in form. That form of his changes and alters. With the change and alteration of form, his consciousness becomes preoccupied with the change of form. Agitation and constellation of mental states born of preoccupation with the change of form remain obsessing his mind. Because his mind is obsessed, he is frightened, distressed and anxious, and through clinging he becomes agitated. He regards feeling as self, perception as self, volitional formations as self, consciousness as self, or self as possessing consciousness, or consciousness as in self, or self as in consciousness. That consciousness of his changes and alters. When you are reading like this, you must also know slightly what you are seeing also. You must try to apply to that. Okay? Like now I am seeing yogis meditating or sitting in front of me with white and Venerable sirs and the nuns. So slightly what I am seeing, what is that? In there is perception, volitional feelings, perception, volitional formation. This is what it is. So I might think that this experience I am having, I am in it and like that. So whatever you are already, you must try to little bit relate to what you are experiencing immediately also. With that, so in case now with the change and now, so now here something happens, for example, that is something that maybe I am expecting some people to be quiet maybe, and maybe they are talking or something like that. Then you know that like now when I think like it's me, it's I, then I would feel and I would be reacting. Okay? So now in this training you will find that now when we go through that, preoccupied with change of the consciousness, agitation and constellation of mental states born of preoccupation with the change of consciousness remain obsessing his mind. So you must know that this problem comes from you, not from this outside thing, because of your unenlightened and your bad habits of seeing it so much as me, I, and things should be this way. Okay? This has to be applied like that because his mind is obsessed, he is frightened, distressed and anxious, and through clinging. Now this can be applied when you are going to hospital everywhere, when you are facing a challenging situation. This will be a best way you know how to direct your mind to face that. Okay, you are going to the Dhamma, Dhamma Sarana, Anya Sarana, Dhamma Sarana, Dhamma Dvipa, and Dhammanupassana, our practice here. It is in such a way bhikkhus that there is agitation through clinging. And how bhikkhus is there? Non-agitation through non-clinging. Here bhikkhus, the instructed noble disciple, who is a seer of noble ones and is skilled and disciplined in their Dhamma, who is a seer and superior persons and is skilled and disciplined in their Dhamma, does not regard form as self, or self as possessing form, or form as in self, or self as in form. That form of his changes and alters. This you will be practicing little bit like looking at yourself from outside, relaxing and getting this idea that form of his changes and alters. While he is thinking like that, say something happens. Despite the change and alteration of form, his consciousness does not become preoccupied with the change of form. No agitation and constellation of mental states born of preoccupation with the change of form remain obsessing his mind. Because his mind is not obsessed, he is not frightened, distressed or anxious, and through non-clinging he does not become agitated. When you are practicing like that, in these ways of that the form does not regard form as self or self as possessing form, this line of looking at it, you must repeatedly put into yourself and make it an exercise in your mind, and then get an idea. There may be a time that I can leave it completely as no me, not I here. Okay? You must try to think of it. Now you might little bit see, you are trying to observe, and you are creating another awareness, a special awareness that this body is not mine, feelings are not mine, perceptions are not mine. That form of his changes and alters, but despite the change and alteration of form, his consciousness does not become preoccupied with the change of form. He does not regard feeling as self, perception as self, volition, formations as self, consciousness as self, or self as possessing consciousness, or consciousness as in self, or self as in consciousness. That consciousness of these changes and alters. Despite the change and alteration of consciousness, his consciousness does not become preoccupied with the change of consciousness. No agitation and constellation of mental states born of preoccupation with the change of consciousness remain obsessing his mind. Because his mind is not obsessed, he is not frightened, distressed or anxious, and through non-clinging he does not become agitated. This is actually as an arhat completely how he will be thinking.